NYPD Captain Murphy walked into Bumpy Johnson's office and said 5 words that changed everything. "I need your help tonight." The most honest cop in Harlem was asking the most powerful criminal for assistance, and what they discovered would expose corruption so deep it reached the mayor's office. October 23, 1962. Small's Paradise, upstairs office. Captain Patrick Murphy stood in the doorway of Bumpy Johnson's private office, his police uniform wrinkled, his face showing 3 days without sleep. Bumpy looked up from his ledger, pen frozen in his hand. In 15 years of running Harlem, no uniformed police officer had ever voluntarily entered his office, especially not Captain Murphy. "Captain," Bumpy said calmly, setting down his pen. "You lost." Murphy stepped inside and closed the door behind him. "I need your help tonight." Bumpy leaned back in his chair. "Say that again?" "I need your help," Murphy repeated. "And I'm probably going to regret asking. To understand why this moment was so impossible, you need to understand Captain Patrick Murphy. He'd been walking the beat in Harlem since 1945. Irish Catholic, Boston-born, straight as an arrow. In 17 years on the force, Murphy had never taken a dime in bribes, never looked the other way, which made him very unpopular with his fellow officers. Murphy knew every dirty cop in his precinct. He knew which detectives took money from numbers runners. He knew which sergeants provided protection for illegal gambling. He knew his own lieutenant was on Bumpy Johnson's payroll, but knowing and proving were two different things. "Sit down, Captain," Bumpy said. "Tell me what's got you so desperate you're talking to me." Murphy remained standing. "Detective Ray Kowalski, you know him." Bumpy knew him. Kowalski had been shaking down Harlem businesses for years, collecting protection money from shop owners, restaurant owners, numbers runners. "I know him," Bumpy said. "He's been taking bribes from Vincent Torriani's crew, $50 a week to look the other way when they collect debts. But last week, something changed." Murphy pulled out a photograph and placed it on Bumpy's desk. It showed Kowalski talking to Vincent Torriani outside a restaurant in Little Italy. "Torriani's moving into Harlem," Murphy continued, "setting up protection rackets in your territory, and Kowalski's helping him." Bumpy picked up the photograph, studied it carefully. This explained why some of his regular businesses had been acting nervous lately. "Why bring this to me?" Bumpy asked. "Because tomorrow night, Kowalski's going to help Torriani's men hit 3 of your operations: the barber shop on 125th, the restaurant on Lenox, and the social club on Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard." Bumpy set down the photograph. "How do you know this?" "Because I've been following Kowalski for 3 weeks, taking pictures, recording conversations, building a case. But nobody in the department will listen." Murphy's voice cracked slightly. "My captain told me to drop it. My lieutenant told me to mind my own business. Internal Affairs said there wasn't enough evidence. So you came to me." "So I came to you." Murphy met Bumpy's eyes. "Because if Torriani takes over your territory, he's going to bring violence. Real violence. The kind that hurts innocent people." Bumpy was quiet for a long moment. "What exactly are you asking me to do?" "Help me catch them in the act. Tomorrow night, be there with cameras, with witnesses. Make it so obvious that even my corrupt department can't ignore it." "And what do I get out of this?" Murphy was quiet. "The satisfaction of knowing you helped put a dirty cop behind bars." Bumpy almost smiled. "Captain, I don't think you understand how this works." "I understand perfectly," Murphy said firmly. "You help me catch Kowalski, and I give you something you've never had before, which is a clean cop who owes you a favor." Bumpy studied Murphy's face. The man was serious. Desperate, but serious. "Captain, if I help you, and this goes wrong, Torriani's going to think I cooperated with police. My reputation in the street is finished." "And if you don't help me," Murphy replied, "Torriani's going to take your territory anyway. At least this way, you take out Kowalski at the same time." Bumpy stood up, walked to his window overlooking Lenox Avenue. Below, he could see his neighborhood, his people, his responsibility. "Tell me the plan," Bumpy said. Murphy pulled out a hand-drawn map. "Tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Kowalski meets Toriani's men at the barbershop. They're going to rob the place, make it look like a random crime. But really, they're sending a message. What kind of message? That Toriani's crew can operate in Harlem without interference. That the police won't investigate. That you can't protect your own people. Bumpy nodded. Go on. I'll be positioned across the street with a camera. You show up during the robbery. Make them think you're just responding to protect your business. I get photographs of Kowalski working with Toriani's men. And then I arrest all of them. Robbery, conspiracy, corruption, the works. Bumpy turned away from the window. Captain, you realize what you're asking me to do. You want me to walk into a trap, put myself in danger, so you can arrest people who are trying to rob me anyway. I'm asking you to help me clean up this neighborhood, Murphy said. Same as you've been doing for 20 years, just through different methods. My methods don't require trusting cops. Your methods haven't stopped Toriani either. Murphy had a point. Bumpy had been hearing rumors about Italian crews moving into Harlem for months. If I do this, Bumpy said, I want something else. What? Kowalski's been harassing Mrs. Washington on 135th Street, 80-year-old woman trying to run a grocery store. He comes in every week demanding money for protection. That stops. Murphy nodded. Agreed. And Jimmy Chen. You know Jimmy Chen? Murphy knew him. Local kid, good family, arrested last month on drug charges that everyone knew were planted. The charges get dropped, Bumpy continued. I can't promise that. Then I can't help you. Murphy was quiet for a long moment. I'll see what I can do. Captain Bumpy's voice was firm. Either the charges get dropped or we don't have a deal. Fine. The charges get dropped. Bumpy extended his hand. Then we have a partnership. Murphy hesitated for a second, then shook Bumpy's hand. God help us both. The next evening, October 24th, 1962, Bumpy positioned himself in the alley behind Chen's barbershop on 125th Street. Across the street, Captain Murphy sat in an unmarked car with a long lens camera. At 11:07 p.m., 3 men approached the barbershop. Vincent Toriani Jr., his cousin Tony Marcello, and Detective Ray Kowalski in plain clothes. Bumpy watched as Kowalski used his police master key to open the barbershop's back door. The 3 men entered quietly. Inside, they began trashing the place, overturning chairs, breaking mirrors, emptying the cash register. That's when Bumpy made his move. He walked through the front door of the barbershop like he owned it. Gentlemen, Bumpy said calmly, as the 3 men spun around in surprise. Having a problem. Kowalski's hand moved toward his gun. Johnson, what are you doing here? Checking on my investments, Bumpy replied. Old Chen called me, said someone was making trouble. From across the street, Murphy was getting everything on camera. Kowalski in the barbershop with known criminals, the overturned furniture, the stolen money. You should leave, Toriani Jr. said. This don't concern you. Bumpy smiled. Everything in Harlem concerns me. Not anymore it doesn't, Kowalski said. Things are changing around here. Are they? Bumpy asked. Because it looks to me like a dirty cop is helping some Italian boys rob a neighborhood business. Kowalski pulled his gun. You're under arrest. For what? I'll think of something. That's when Murphy's voice came through a megaphone from across the street. NYPD. Nobody move. The scene froze. Kowalski looked out the window and saw Murphy with backup officers surrounding the building. What the hell? Toriani Jr. said. To Kowalski's face went white as he realized what had happened. You son of a bitch, he said to Bumpy. You set us up. Actually, Bumpy said calmly, Captain Murphy set you up. I just helped. Murphy and 4 uniformed officers entered the barbershop with guns drawn. Detective Kowalski, Murphy said formally. You're under arrest for burglary, conspiracy, and corruption. Murphy, you Irish piece of garbage, Kowalski snarled. You think this is over? I think it's just beginning, Murphy replied, as he handcuffed his own detective. The arrests made front-page news in every paper in New York. He or a butt, cop with mafia accomplices. The photographs Murphy had taken were clear, undeniable evidence. Kowalski was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Torini Jr. got 5 years. Tony Marcello turned state's evidence and testified about corruption in 3 different precincts. The investigation expanded. 12 more officers were arrested. 2 lieutenants resigned. The police commissioner implemented new oversight procedures, and Captain Murphy became the youngest precinct commander in NYPD history. 3 days after the arrest, Murphy returned to Bumpy's office. "I wanted to thank you," Murphy said. "Don't thank me yet," Bumpy replied. "Jimmy Chen's charges?" Murphy smiled. "Dropped this morning. Paperwork got lost." Bumpy nodded. "Mrs. Washington. Nobody's bothered her since Kowalski got arrested." "Then we're even." Murphy turned to leave, then stopped. "Johnson?" "Yeah? If you ever need help with something legitimate, something that helps the neighborhood, you call me. And if you need help catching dirty cops," Bumpy replied, "you know where to find me." It was the beginning of an unlikely partnership that lasted 5 years. 2 men from opposite sides of the law, who understood that sometimes the only way to get justice is to work together. Murphy retired in 1967 as one of the most decorated officers in NYPD history. Bumpy Johnson continued running Harlem until his death in 1968. But after 1962, the police harassment of legitimate businesses in Harlem decreased significantly. Sometimes the most unlikely partnerships create the most lasting change. If this story of justice crossing enemy lines moved you, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like if you believe good cops and bad criminals can find common ground, and comment below. When law enforcement fails, who should step in?